Hello everyone, this is Galen Martling. Today I'm going to share Daisy cards. I have 3 different cards using Spellbinder's Yana's Daisy collection, and they are 3 different cards. One's with a die-cut daisies, and 2 of them are with Betterpress Letterpress plates that I'm going to use with the Betterpress platform. So to begin, I used the sentiments and I hot foiled them using the Glimmer hot foil system, and I used Aura Color Gold hot foil, and I had this all preheated and everything, and ran that through. I'm going to run that through my platinum die cutting machine with a shim. My machine with Betterpress press plates, I need a shim in that comes with the platinum, and it presses beautifully. You get a beautiful gold impression. Also, if you're using a big shot machine, die cutting machine, you might need a couple of shims for your die cutting machine. You want to play around with different shims to know what your die cutting machine will handle to get the best impression. So this is how it looks on cream color cardstock, smooth cardstock. And it's so pretty, it shimmers. It's hard to tell on camera, but it does shimmer beautifully. All the sentiments. I like to just go ahead and die cut or hot foil them all at once to get them out of the way. That way they're ready to use on different cards later on. As one of my favorite things is to do multiple sentiments at the same time. Also, I've got this beautiful molded frame embossing, 3D embossing folder that's part of the collection, and I use that on cream paper also. I have a golden color cardstock, like a I don't know the exact name. You want to check my links at the bottom for the exact products, but more of a yellow gold cardstock, a shiny gold background. These are the dies that all die cut out the daisies in different ways. You have a background panel, an outline panel, all kind of die cut little petals. If you want to use the petals, in my case I used the petals. So this background, you could see the outline pops right out. You can use the outline as is, even all by itself, but I went ahead and used the outline in green because the leaf is green. I just decided to make my outline in green. But you can see you can make it white like this and changes the whole look of it. I decided to use all the little petal pieces that fall out because I just love the way, you can play around with it. You can use the petal pieces, or you can use a solid piece of cardstock as one of the die cuts, and just use the outline to change the colors. But I just went ahead and just glued and just took my time adding all those little pieces onto this green outline layer. And that is so pretty. It's a set of 3 daisies. Again, I'm going to use that with this molded frame. I layered the background in yellow, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything with double-sided tape. And this is one of the sentiments I'm using. Using the happy birthday on this particular card. And there you go. And I'm going to go ahead. I think I popped this up with a little bit of narrow foam tape. I like to stick with 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter thickness, simply because it makes mailing a lot easier, and hopefully with just one stamp without having to add extra postage. So that still shows a little bit of dimension just perfectly. It's so pretty. I love it. This one's a quicker card to do. The next ones require the Betterpress Letterpress system. So we're going to use the Betterpress along with the press plate. And this is the trio of daisies. I believe it's called Daisy Trio Betterpress. I'm using Betterpress ink also, and I am going ahead and I just use repositionable tape to tape that cotton porcelain Betterpress paper behind that Betterpress top there. And then I add my ink ever so carefully because I don't want to get it all over my fingers. I used a scrap piece of paper just to hold that down, that plate. But you know, when you ink it up, you can always just move the plate into place with tweezers or something like that. But for now I started with just holding that base there and dabbing as much of that blue onto the background and the daisies as I can. This Betterpress ink gives you a really good impression when you press it through the die cutting machine. It has a different formula, but any dye inks will also work. Whatever you have on hand, use that first. But if you like really high detail, I suggest getting these inks with Betterpress. I like to hot foil my Betterpress plates too. That's another, the plates get double duty. You can foil them or you can add ink, and you can use them with the Glimmer hot foil system. Apparently you cannot use the hot foil plates in the Betterpress. You can only add the Betterpress plates into the Glimmer hot foil, or just use it with Betterpress if you're hot foiling. So now I just go over and over, and then after I dabbed this a lot, I didn't want any of the lines to show like little rectangles, so I just swirled it a little bit all around. You can also use an ink blending brush for this. Also, you can use an empty refill of a larger ink pad for Betterpress and add your Betterpress refill inks. But I don't have those. I'm just using the little ones. But if you're using the small ones, you want to blend it out with either a blending brush or just swirl around that ink pad. Then you want to ever so carefully layer that top panel without pressing down, and you want to run it through a die cutting machine. I'm using my Platinum die cutting machine. Take it out very carefully without pressing until you're ready. And you can see it comes really light. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be a light blue, like a sky background. If you have darker inks, you can make it darker. You can have black. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever look you like. I use an Archival Ink Cleaner. You don't want to squeeze those. I made a mistake of squeezing it and it oozed out too much. So don't squeeze it. Just rub it around and then use a cloth to clean the ink off your plate. This next plate is a larger plate. Let's see. That one is called Daisy Shower Betterpress. And it comes with a stencil bundle as well. The stencil, I think, is only available in the bundle on these plates. We're going to stencil later on, but for now, we're going to start with this the same way. You want to adhere that panel to the top acrylic plate there with the Betterpress using repositionable tape. Then you're going to add your plate and then add ink to the plate. And so now you can hot foil this if you want to hot foil it, but I wanted to go ahead and use the inks I have. I chose strawberry for this one, and this is one of my favorite ones. It turned out so pretty. I should have gone a little closer to the edge with ink, but I didn't. I just concentrated more towards the center. But mine, I'm not looking for a perfect look. I'm looking for more of a variegated look for this background. It came out just perfectly. I am going to trim both of these panels down, add them to an A2 size card base, but also I'm going to make them include a border in both of these cards. So I'm not so concerned about the whole panel being exactly inked up, but this is how it looks after it's inked. There's one side that was off of where the inked plate was, but that's going to be covered up anyway and trimmed off because I'm using a border on two of these cards. So that is one inking of the background, two inkings using Betterpress ink. This is the stencil on the trio set that we used before. Each of these these stencil layers I used, I added ink in different shades to accent the center of around that middle part, and also the shadow that comes with this trio stencil. I love the shadow part. That's something different. Here's my border I'm going to add later. So I wanted these centers to really pop and be a really dark shade of yellow. So I added the darker shade towards the bottom of all of these centers, and then I go in and add the very light shade. It's the same ink pad, just heavily concentrated towards the bottom to make that bottom look different and darker. Then I just cleaned all my stencils as I go. So the stencils line up. I like that these are numbered so that you can do them in order. That's what I did. So what you don't see are some of the layers that I did, one of them in light yellow and another one in light blue. And those just are the same colors as the sky and the center, just a very light shade of them. Before you get to the shadow, you could see I used 2 different layers to add that blue and that yellow. I just didn't show them all on here. And so this is the stem layer, and this is the petal layer. I mean, the petal adding, you could see there I added darker shade of pink in that. That's what I did when I added the yellow on the other sample I showed you. So the background is strawberry. The strawberry is also very lightly in the background of those leaves. Yellow is in the background of each of the leaves. So I'm adding the yellow, just a little bit though, not on the whole petal. I decided just to use maybe a half of the petal that showed through on the stencil. I didn't really ink up the whole part of it. I just wanted a hint of it. You could see there's still a little white showing. That's what I was looking for. Now, for the centers, again, I go really dark and then come around and make the tops a little lighter. That really makes it pop. I love it. And so you want to, again, any dye inks, I'm using Catherine Pooler inks for the ink blending. Distress inks work good, whatever you have. I wanted to go ahead and play with these inks. It's my new set of inks. I used the Spa collection of her inks. It was fun to do. And so, let's see. Oh, there you go. It's so pretty. I love it. I love how this background came out. It's one of my favorites. I think I will go with darker inks in the background. I think it makes the flowers pop a little bit more. But the strawberry color looks so pretty, I think. And that's one. And then you can see now that that's the other trio of these 2. Now we're going to put these 2 together. We're going to use borders. So I pre-die cut the borders from the Berry Fields collection, and I added just a layer of a complementing color cardstock using Color Wheel cardstock. I use very narrow foam tape that I cut to make into the back. Again, it's not really thick, but it just gives it perfect dimension, not too much for mailing, but you could tell there's a little bit of texture and dimension on the sentiments. So I offset this panel to the left side because on the right side, I'm adding the border. Very simple. You can use whatever's in your scraps for this. You can use ribbon also, whatever you like. I decided not to add anything else because the background was so detailed. I didn't need any other flowers or anything. I just wanted it to be just like this. It's so pretty. That one is thinking of you, and the blue one is going to be missing you on the sentiment. And again, this is very similar put together. This one is going to be a little more narrow. That's pretty. That would make a pretty mini slimline card, but I cut it down to A2 size. Well, this one I didn't have to cut down too much. It was already an A2 size panel, but I cut a part of that side off just to give it a little bit of layered look, a little border on the side. I hope you like this. I hope you give it a try. This was fun to play with. I really enjoy using that Betterpress machine with the press plates. And obviously, using the Betterpress plates with the Glimmer is a bonus. I love the way the sentiments turned out for these. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. You have a wonderful day.